So I just turned the recording on. So hello, everyone. Welcome to our Thursday live. This is Denise Armenio. And you can reach me at Denise at Inside Health Apps. And I am a emotion code, body code certified practitioner, as well as a Genius biofeedback practitioner. And hopefully today Claire and I can help answer your questions and get some results from this demo scan. And I can see that our volunteer, actually our backup volunteer, because the first person that volunteered, I don't see is on, but I see Kathy. So I'm going to unmute you, Kathy. And you can join us, Claire, if you want to say hi.
Hi, hello everybody. Some of you I may have met through the orientations. Just let staff hang, but I'm support. I'm over in the UK, and yeah, hi.
So Kathy, are you unmuted now?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
How are you? Nice to meet you.
Good.
Your virtual acquaintance. I'm just adding your name up here. So do you go by Kathy as your full name or Catherine?
Yeah, that's my full name. Yep.
Okay, and then it's, how do you pronounce your last name?
Holmeyer.
Holmeyer. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, and your date of birth?
July 31st, 60. Yeah, I'm in motion code, body code.
Oh, nice.
All
Welcome.
those.
Yay.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me again what you want to work on today.
Well, I have
And
the
if you
varicose
can
vein
also
in my.
rate it on how you're actually feeling today overall, 10 being severe, 0 being no pain or symptoms at all.
Mhm. I've been trying to work on a varicose vein in my right leg.
Okay.
Especially the calf area, but it's kind of getting bigger.
Okay. Anything else? Any like physical pain or
Nope.
emotional pain you want to work on?
No, I'm good.
Okay, and nothing else that maybe we could work on? I mean, we can work on your varicose vein. I'm not sure that you're going to see a measurable difference after
Yeah,
one
right.
session.
Emotional issue with my son.
Feeling anxious. You don't have to go into it on,
Yeah,
you know.
difference of opinion, just yeah. Well, really not different, sort of difference of opinion, but we're good. But yeah, I don't know how to explain it.
So it's
even.
causing stress in your life.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we can work
Yeah.
on stress in general. And how would you rate that?
Right now, 7 out of 10.
Okay.
Mhm.
So then let's see how
And
can help alleviate that. Anything else?
just to see how my lungs are. I had an issue in the past. It seems much better. But yeah, I would have a winter kind of a respiratory winter kind of lung thing. I went through a pretty bad bout over Christmas and used frequencies. Before I found Genius, I have frequencies from another product, and I got through everything. But so just need to keep checking on those.
Okay, sure, we could definitely do that. So I am going to base the demo. I'll go, some of this stuff you'll already know, but for those out there that are not aware and need a little extra guidance, I'll go a little slow in the beginning. So now that we've entered all your information in here, I'm going to hit next at the bottom of the screen. And then we come up with this user records. You can fill this in for your client. It does not have anything to do with the scan itself. I personally don't use this. So I'm just going to bypass this by hitting begin at the bottom. Okay, and I'm going to start before I forget by taking a little screenshot of you here, Kathy. And to photos. Okay, so now we're gonna try to get a sample of your voice. So if you can, I'll say 3, 2, 1, begin. And then if you can just say your full name and then repeat the vowels A, E, I, O, U until the white line goes across the screen, that would be great. You ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, begin.
Kathy Homeyer, A-E-I-O-U, A-E-I-O-U. Kathy Homeyer, A-E-I-O-U, A-E-I-O-U, A-E-I-O.
That's perfect. Great. Thank you. So now once that's done, it is recommended that you listen to the voice harmonics that's on the bottom left. I'm not going to do that because it over Zoom, you can't hear it very well, but it is good to play that back, and it kind of entrains what you just recorded to yourself or to the client that you're working on. I'm just going to hit next here on the bottom right. And continue. And now, since I've already taken your picture and uploaded it, I'm just going to hit this and go to existing photos. And there is your photo right there. And I can begin analysis now by hitting begin analysis on the bottom. Continue. Do you have an affirmation you'd like to use today? I think you muted yourself.
Yeah, sorry. I am joyful.
Okay. And so now you can see that the topics, biofield, body, and mind are here. Anybody who just has the trial or does not have any libraries, this is what it's going to look like for you. I do have libraries, so I'm going to go add them now. So I go into that navigation bars, and now I can go down to libraries and add to client and select all. And now you can see that libraries is now included in there. So I'm just going to hit begin analysis. Okay, Audra, I will be getting to your question now momentarily. So if you have any questions when I'm done, just let us know. Okay, so now we can see after the analysis is done, the topics have been reordered. So with mind on top. So the genius is telling us that the priority disturbance is in this area. And then next, whoops. And then next would be biofield, body, and then libraries. So it's saying whatever you need most, Kathy, is really in the basic section of the genius. So we will work a little bit with that. First, I just wanted to explain the numbers on the side. So the genius uses a numerical value system. It goes from 0 to 777. The values 0 through 100 are represented by the color blue. And those items that fall within those range are observed to be chronic energetic disturbances, meaning you've had it for that disturbance for a longer period of time. And in Chinese medicine, it's also observed to be like stagnant energy. Then you go from 101 to about 450, and that range is represented by the color green. And from there you go to yellow, and that goes from 451 to about 689, 688. I'm not sure of that exact number. And that range is represented by the color yellow. And then you have from 689 to 777, and that is represented by the color red. And red, or that range, is observed to be acute energetic disturbances, meaning they're present, they're happening now. And Chinese medicine would also see that as heat or inflammation. Now, when we do, when we collect our items that most of the time that we feel are red or blue, and we add them to the main tray, we often also include ranges that are 600 and above and 200 and below. And so that would include some yellows and some greens. And the reason why we're including those is because when we go to our progressive insight, which you'll see in just a moment, often those yellow and green values may show up as high once we run the scan, and we don't want to overlook anything. So we just broaden the range a little bit that we're working with. Often I just, on the area that I want to focus on, I will increase that range, but I don't have a set way to do anything. It's really, I use my intuition to gauge on which areas I want to go 600 and above and 200 and below. But if you just work with reds and blues, you're going to get great results as well. If you're a little unsure of yourself and in the beginning you just want to work with reds and blues, that's fine too. Audra, I hope that helps. I think you said yes, it is. So anyhow, the next thing I just wanted to point out is on the left-hand side, you see like these double arrows, and those are there to let you know that there's more information underneath, or you can go a level deeper. So in other words, if I click on the line, this line for emotional, it will bring me all the specific emotions, and then we can work with those emotions individually. The other thing I want to show you before I get started is the aura. And now if we click on the line for the aura, it brings us to an analysis, and that's how we get your aura picture. So it's a great practice to get a before and after picture so that your client can see their progress or their change. So let's do that now. Okay, so the color keeps, I don't know if you guys can see it, it keeps dimming and brightening on my screen. I don't know why, but that's a decent aura picture. We have some different colors in there. Each of the colors represents the different chakras. So yellow may refer to your sacral chakra, green, your heart chakra, purple can be your crown. We're looking for bright, vibrant colors. So I would say that these are more pale or a little dirty in some areas. So that could just be indicating stagnant energy in those different areas of the chakras. We can, when we look into the chakras more specifically, we could see if your heart or your crown or your sacral chakra shows up as having a disturbance. But let's just take a quick picture here. And we can just actually look at the chakra right now. And so it's showing the throat. What did we say? The sacral chakra. So that looks okay. I mean, the solar chakra was yellow. I think I did say it said sacral, sorry. 195. So that's below 200. So that may be something that we want to look at. But again, I don't get into much detail with the aura pictures itself. I really just look to see that we're breaking up some of that stagnant energy and bringing in some bright, vibrant colors. So that's what I look for. The other thing I like to use frequently in my sessions is I will go to my spiritual protection and I will add everything from that library, and I will add it into the main hold tray. And I do that by adding this little plus button. So when it says green items and blue items, it will take all of those colored items, so I don't have to drag and drop them individually. So now I'm just going to go to the main hold tray, and this is the area which I mentioned before, the progressive insights. And I'm going to run a quick analysis on these. And I'm just going to run all of them. And I'm going to put it on 0 minutes because I won't run it that long. But it has here entities, grounding and embracing the light as your highs. And sometimes that might change. This looks different to anybody. It's because I'm using the 3D graphics, which is just a nice change, but that's why it will look different for anybody using the trial or who doesn't have the 3D graphics. Okay, so it did not give me a percent rectification, but we will do a rescan to see if that helps. If you can see any of those that cleared up. So we did see that some of those areas that were off before, like entities, cleared up. It's just protective jewelry right now. So I'm just going to go back. And now the next thing I like to work with is when you click on System Overview, it brings you to a general overview. And what that is, it's the System Overview page and it's expanded. So it's as if you hit all those arrows and went that level deeper. And now it shows you all those items, but it also arranges it in numerical value. So now you can see your top 5 or your top 10 highs. So for you, Kathy, yours is embracing the light, the spiritual protection, which we just actually worked on a bit because now it wasn't showing as a high in your in the main hold tray after we worked with that a few minutes. Grass, some sacred geometry points, guilt, triple heater 0.20. So those are just a few. And then if we hit general overview again, we can see the ones that have been more chronic for you. So that would be your central vessel 0.12, the emotion of hostility, brain EEG, black cohosh, herb, sacred geometry. And again, it's showing you that it's sacred geometry, like generally it's not specifying a specific sacred geometry item. So now I'm just going to put the timer up to 0 and I'm going to do a quick balance. Now the quick balance, what that does is it will run a balance on all the reds and all the blues. Okay, great. So it's showing your percent rectification now at 50%. So that's amazing because there's a lot of items in that general overview, and to have 50% rectification is really great. Now that is a probability. It doesn't tell us exactly what has harmonized, but it's giving you a good idea that a lot of those have. So when we go back now to this system overview page, I feel good about not having to go into every one of these areas because we've really addressed a lot of it in that general overview. The mind does show up as the priority area. So I will add your emotions to the main hold tray here. I don't know, they just, okay. And I will add the 600 and above. And now we can look at the Bach flower essences. That's another really great library to look at. And they work well with breaking up some of those emotions that we hold on to.
I'm just kind of laughing because the hostility, I felt that my son, even though we were on the same page on something, he was being a little bit more hostile towards me. And then later in the day, I saw an event locally that really got me triggered about vaccines, which is, you know, whatever anybody thinks, but it really got me triggered and angry that they were doing this kind of thing in my hometown. So
Oh,
yeah,
so that was spot on. And, you know, you may have absorbed some of that from your son. I mean, you know, working with emotion code that, you know, that's always possible. So
yeah. Yeah.
okay, so I added those Bach flower essences. And I'm just going to look at the brain EEG that's here now. If there aren't any reds or blues in this, I might just add the high beta since it's a 600 and this high gamma. But I'm also going to add the brain EEG as an item itself, just because that one is showing as blue and rather low. And it may just be for whatever reason, the frequency that the brain EEG is just connecting with something with you that you need. So I don't want to overlook that either. And then we can go into our biofield, which this is one of my favorite areas in the Genius, and I work a lot in here. We already worked in spiritual protection and have put those in the main hold tray, so I'm not going to go in there right now. We can look at the Saveggio tones, and I always will add in 528 hertz, and that's for transformation and miracles. And then I'll add the red ones by just clicking on the red items here. We'll put all three of those in. Meridians, we can see. So as far as the main meridian name, the large intestine and the pericardium are the ones that are showing off right now. However, if we did click on those, you can see this drop down arrow. So that is indicating that you can go deeper. I always work with the governing meridian and the conception vessel. And I'm actually going to work with those using the quick zap today. So I'm going to add the title in there, and then I'm going to add all the points. A lot of times I just work with the first point and last point, but I just feel a little guided to work with all of them today. So I'm adding them all in here. And I'm just going to run these. You can see now that they're all in this quick zap tray. And I'm going to put that on 0. And here is the little play button that starts working that little balance in there. And the reason why I like using the governing vessel and the conception vessel is there are two main meridians that the conception vessel is in the front of our body and the governing vessel in the back. For anybody that does use emotion code and body code, you know that we work with the governing vessel all the time when we swipe our head. So there's just, I find it important to work with the governing vessel. I also find that working with the conception vessel and the governing vessel helps clear up the aura quite a bit. If I'm having trouble breaking through, if I focus on these two meridians, it does help clear it up. So we'll go back and look at it after. So we had 54% rectification on that. That's great. I'm just hitting this button here, closes that. And we can go back out and let's just see if we have any change on your aura. Now we have worked with a few things before the governing and conception vessel, but it will just be nice to see. V is asking, do we all have the option to use the 3D display? Yes, you all do have the option to use that. It is an add-on. And I believe the cost for that is $199. If you'd like to have that option, you can always email me and I can send you the link for that. And here your aura is actually coming along nicely. I don't know why my screen is going brighter and darker. It just looked a little brighter. There you go. And now we can look at the Nogiers. And Nogiers are similar to Saveggio tones. And a lot of people are familiar with the Saveggio tones. If you go on YouTube, there are a lot of meditations that you can listen to that have to do with the same hertz frequencies as listed in the Genius on the Saveggios. The Nogiers are similar, except they're also frequencies, but they represent organs and glands. So let's see, for you, your high is Nogier B, and Nogier B has to do with digestion, lymphatic, circulatory, and neuropathy. So that would be spot on for you. For varicose veins, I mean, that's going to be circulation in there. So that's an important one for you to work on. And I would continue working with that and keeping that in all the, balances that you do for a while. Even if it's not showing up, I would use that. Nogier D has to do with brain balance. And I can't remember if I just added that. Nogier F, which would be more chronic, is emotional harmony, bone healing, and hormones. And Nogier G and Nogier A are also like universal frequencies, so we can add those as well. The chakras, I'm a big believer in working with the chakras, so I'm going to add them all. And sacred geometry is on the low side, so I'll add the reds and the blues in here for you. And now we can go down to the body. And the first thing I like to look at when we're in this view is on today's, and I don't see it right now, today's stress. Just gives us a little snapshot of where your body is at today. So infection energy is showing up, fungus as red, and then on the bottom, emotional, liver, and connective tissue. Emotional seems to be coming up as a little bit of a pattern for you because you had the Nogier F, which was off, which is emotional harmony. So I would work with that one as well. Liver, connective tissue. And I always like to put in, where is it? Inflammation and where's digestion? We'll get that on our other, but let's add in the infection and fungus. And then we have your body systems. And we can add in these 3 blue. I'm going to add in digestive as well as circulatory. So that doesn't show any disturbance there, but based on what you told me is why I'm adding circulatory in there. Organs, lungs is coming up, which you also mentioned, pancreas. And pancreas, what I've always been taught is the pancreas has to do with the sweetness in life. So if there's a disturbance, that metaphysically can just mean maybe you've lost some of that sweetness in life and want to work on that. And minerals. Did we do glands? Oh no, here. Again, I'm just going to add the reds and the blues in here for you. Digestion, gallbladder, pancreas is 600. We can add it. I know it was just in on that other one. It came up as, I think, a high yellow. Minerals, I like to add, especially if we're working with emotions, lithium. And here it is. And it's showing as red for you. That has a lot. It really helps to, when you're working with emotions. And spinal energy is another big one to make sure that all the nerves and all our messages from the brain are getting to all areas of the body. So I always do on this one 600 and above as well. And I'm just going to look in a minute after I add these. So for you, Kathy, on a more chronic, we have thoracic 6. And thoracic 6, the body connection is the stomach. It has to do with indigestion, reflux, food sensitivities. And the emotional connection is constant worry, stuff emotions. I don't know if that resonates with you as far as indigestion, but stuffed emotions, maybe, or constant worry, since emotional seems to be coming up for you. May be important for you. And then thoracic 7 has to do with the pancreas, ulcers, poor digestion, again, blood sugar issues, not deriving the sweetness from life. So again, I would continue to, when you work on the genius, to work with the pancreas and possibly this thoracic 7 too, until it clears. And from here, I'm going to go into our libraries. And I'm going to hit begin analysis. I'm not sure if I have varicose veins as a specific library, but I will go into vessels for you to make sure that we're.
Yeah, I think I have the vessel one myself too, so I've been using that.
And we'll also look at your lungs as well. Okay, so let's look at your major arteries first. Leg vessels does show up here. So actually, let's go there first. And I'm going to put them all in, since this is like a real area that you want to work on. And it'll be interesting to see once we go to the progressive insights. If any of these, try to keep like a little mental note of some of these other areas if they show up as highs for you. We can look at vessels clear. And again, I'm going to put all of these in for you. And we can look at the 600 and above. Now, these wouldn't all be for the leg, but you just never know how they all tie in. We can look at emotions also. Again, I'm going to just, there aren't that many here. I'm just going to add them all. And we could look at the hormones. Capillaries. Marvelous vessels are more like a different meridians, sort of. Let's see. We can. I want to look at these for you. I don't know if these emotions resonate with you. I'm looking at them more specifically for you only because emotions was coming up. So again, with your background of emotion code, we never know how these will impact and if it has anything to do with the varicose veins. We hit mostly everything here. I'm going to look at lungs now to see what comes up. Did you say it was a dryness for you, for your lungs?
No, it's more of breathing difficulties, but I don't know they're there. So it's not I have trouble breathing, but I think it's trouble getting oxygen sometimes.
Okay.
I mean, it's cleared now, I mean, physically, but
so let's put the blues in here. Since this is something that would be more chronic since you had it for a longer period of time. And respiratory. So I'm doing the 600 and above. Oops, I didn't need that one. I think I just added that. Oh, here we go. So I'm going to add these herbal solutions, see if they help. Let's just add these just in case there's any energetic imprints of, even if you've cleared the physical virus or infection that you had. And there are some homeopathics in here as well, so I'm going to add those. So I'm going to go, we have like 223 items. So let's just see. And so what I like to do is I'll run all the items for 1 minute, and I'll do that twice and rescan in between. And then I'll run all the highs for 3 minutes. Also, I see this every week, but water is really good when you're running these frequencies. It really does help make the scans more effective. So you had a 56% rectification. That's awesome because that's on all 200 items. I'm going to rescan. We could just take a little look at some of these that are up here. You know, this one was from that one I said to take little mental notes. I can't remember where it was though, but let's rescan them. And then we can run all of these again for 1 minute. Oh, Kathy, I need to add some for worry, for some stress. I'll add those in a minute. About that. Hopefully working on a lot of these emotions will help though too with some of your stress. So 34%, again, I usually like to look for 40% rectification, but we're working on all the items and we just had 56% rectification. So I'm really happy with that. We can rescan these again. And I'm gonna now work with just the highs and put those on 3 minutes. And brow chakra showed up again, dark forces. So we can just, let's hit play. Have you been working on the varicose veins for a while?
No, I pretty much just
feeling okay? So 22%. Again, if this wasn't a demo, I would probably run the highs a little longer for you, but let's just go and see what your aura is looking like now, and if there's anything that we can do to just, if it needs anything else. So you could see different colors moving in through there. It's, my screen just dimmed again, but you can, it was a little brighter than that a second ago. I'm going to go to my libraries and I'm going to work with some of the essences that I use. And so I'm going to look at both the environmental ones. I'm going to clear the quick zap tray and I'm going to add in some of these.
So if you're working with a client with a QuantiCap, do you just end up making a playlist for them from the session that you do, or is it or does it record what you've already done?
That's a great question. So it will, if I go into the main hold tray, so right now I started with all, but the last thing I did was on high. So I would go back to all and run it for a few seconds, and then I would share it to them from here. But if there was anything from the quick zap or that I ran on a quick balance, those would not be added to it. So just, that's why sometimes I decide like, you know, what I'm going to put in the quick zap or not, because if I want to eventually send all those frequencies that I work with to a client, I'd need to have them in the main hold tray. You always do have the option to, after you send one, you could potentially clear out that and send another more specific items to them, but you know, that's at your discretion. So anyway, wait, where was I? I think I added these blues. So let's just run these now for a few seconds and see how that goes. How are you? Are you feeling anything about worry? I can go back, or your stress levels as high as they were before?
I actually never feel like I'm the one that's worried or stressed. It's the other people around me. So,
well, I mean, in regards to the situation you were discussing with your son, do you feel like it's
yeah. Well, Well, it's going to be an ongoing until he decides what he's going to do now, but yeah, it's going to be an ebb and flow.
We can look at one of the other libraries. How old is your son?
26. You know, like everybody else had his life turned upside down. Not sure what to do next now.
I mean, at some point, right, they're adults and have to make their own decisions. And okay, so let's see. How that's affected your aura.
Like my husband is a constant worrier, and I'm always feeling like I have to transmute that for him because it just never goes away. Once I pick it up, he seems fine. So,
Well, that's good. I mean, it's always maintenance. So, I mean, your aura, you just have things shifting in and out.
Yeah.
So it's not bad. We can just look quickly. Let's just see. Remember the names. Oh. So I'm just going to do a quick balance here. V, yes, I would send all those 200 plus frequencies to them. Your client could either decide to put all of those in, you know, on the Quanta capsule, or they could select some specifically, but I do tend to send them all just because I don't know which ones, you know, today we have some that are high, but if they're working with them for 7 days, other ones are going to shift in and out on which ones may be the most important ones for them. So I wouldn't want to just send the highs. Oh, that's my thought process. I hope that answers your question. Also, because when your clients are working with their Quanta capsule, they don't have the ability to see when they're running it, what are highs for them, mediums or lows. They just are only running those frequencies. So, and I'm just trying to read what you said. Okay, I've been sending different groups according to subject. That's fine. There's no set or wrong way. A lot of times if we do groups, and if you're working on, you know, let's say you're working on detox, you might just want to send them detox frequencies. It really just depends on, you know, what you're working on with them. This will be your last go of it here, Kathy. We're almost at the top of the hour.
I know, thanks.
Hopefully you are feeling better.
Yeah. Just another question on I have a client who has a lot of joint and not necessarily muscle, but joint and connective tissue issues. And I did send her some frequencies, and she is feeling it. She ran it for like an hour and has a lot of pain and everything. And she was going to run it again. But we've been working on this for a long time in body code. She loves when I do body code sessions on her, but I'm like, hey, look what, you know, maybe we can target something and give you, you know, a way to run things when you want to. So any recommendations on something like that?
On connective tissue?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would look at the fascia. You would go into the integumentary. I would look in your on the nogiers. I would just look at which one's in there.
Yeah, okay.
But again, you know this from emotion code and body code. Anything can cause anything. So, you know, you might want to work on, you know, the general overview and working on some of that stuff, because there could be a lot of, you know, just frequencies or items in there that would benefit it. And your aura looks really great. So hopefully, you know, that's hoping that the situation with your son is at least, you know, a lot of the angst is removed from it. So
Thank you.
you're welcome. Well, everybody, I hope you've enjoyed today and you've learned something. And if you have any questions, again, email me at Denise@Inside Health Apps. And we look forward to seeing you next Thursday. So have a great day, everybody. You're
Bye.
welcome. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
You're
Thanks a
welcome.
lot. Okay, bye-bye.